Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tracing the fascinating journey of a request for quotation, an RFQ, as it gets completely transformed by AI. If you've ever worked in B2B sales or operations, you absolutely know that sinking feeling of getting an RFQ with, a dozen disorganized attachments. Going from that initial customer request to actually sending them a finalized, accurate quote can be incredibly tedious. But today, we're going to look at a totally revolutionized process using Quote Manager CPQ and Microsoft Copilot. So how do you actually turn a messy PDF into a perfect quote without typing a single word? Well, automating this chaotic process is exactly how you free up your sales team to focus on the customer instead of getting bogged down in manual admin. I mean, we all know the pain of staring at a sprawling email chain, trying to manually type product codes and quantities into a system. It's slow, it's super prone to human error, and frankly, it's a terrible use of a highly skilled sales professional's time. Getting rid of that chaotic busywork is an absolute game changer. To see how this works, we're going to follow this journey in 5 quick steps: the RFQ arrival, AI-driven data extraction, automatic quote creation, the human validation stage, and finally, the CRM dynamics advantage. All right, section 1, the RFQ arrival. Let's start right at the top of the funnel, the exact moment a prospective buyer says, "Hey, I need a price for these items." Now, RFQs can hit your system through multiple channels: inbound email, customer portals, or online forms. And this creates an immediate bottleneck if you're relying on humans to route them. A request might land in a shared inbox, or a dedicated portal, or even a generic web form. If your team is constantly monitoring 3 different places just to route requests, you're losing valuable time before the quoting even starts. But in this automated workflow, the second an RFQ arrives through any of these avenues, it automatically triggers the AI-driven process. And here's where things get tricky. These requests come in wildly unstructured formats: email text, PDF documents, CSV files, product lists, technical specs, and a bunch of random supporting attachments. Think about it. Your customer isn't really thinking about your internal systems when they ask for a quote, right? They might send a casual email with some bullet points, a highly structured PDF, or a CSV exported from their own procurement system. The sheer unstructured chaos of this data is traditionally what breaks automated systems and forces us right back to manual data entry. Moving right along to section 2, AI-driven data extraction. This is where the magic happens and we actually make sense of that mess. So once that RFQ comes in, it triggers a workflow utilizing a pretty powerful trio: Microsoft Copilot, Azure AI Document Intelligence, and Power Automate. It's not just one tool, it's a coordinated stack. Copilot acts as your intelligent assistant, Azure AI does the heavy lifting of reading those complex documents, and Power Automate connects the dots, moving data seamlessly from the inbox right into the quoting engine. And the best part? No custom coding is required. It's just intelligent orchestration working together to analyze the request, literally whatever format it happens to be in. The crucial takeaway here is that this unstructured chaos gets completely converted into structured quote headers and quote lines. The AI successfully translates all those messy PDFs into perfectly structured data. It pulls out the customer's name, the date, and overarching details for the quote header, and then it digs into the technical specs to generate the individual line items. AI is basically bridging the gap between human communication, which we know is messy and unpredictable, and CRM requirements, which are very rigid. Next up is section 3, automatic quote creation. Getting the data extracted is fantastic, but we still need to build a legally and commercially accurate proposal. Look at the stark contrast between the old way and the new way here. The old way meant manual data entry across multiple disconnected third-party platforms. But the new way, it's natively built right within familiar Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement. Because Quote Manager CPQ operates natively within Dynamics, you're maximizing your existing Microsoft investments without tacking on complex third-party tools. Your team stays in the familiar Dynamics environment, which makes user adoption a breeze and leverages the AI skills they're already building. From there, the automation takes over. It creates quote records, generates quote line items, routes approvals, and notifies the sales teams. Imagine just hitting approve on an RFQ and the system instantly creates the quote record out of thin air. It builds out every single line item without anyone typing a single digit. And it doesn't stop there. If a quote needs special approval, maybe because of a huge discount, it automatically routes it to the right manager. Finally, it just pings the sales rep like, "Hey, your quote is ready to go." And because it's pulling directly from Dynamics 365, the pricing parameters are spot on.
Customer and region pricing comes from specific price lists, agreed terms match contract pricing, promotions use discount schedules, complex items follow configuration rules, and bulk orders use volume-based pricing structures. When humans calculate volume discounts manually, margins can easily bleed due to simple math errors. But here, you're getting a hyper-accurate quote that mathematically protects your margins every single time.
Which brings us to Section 4, the human validation stage. Because let's be real, what happens when there's an unusual request or an incomplete RFQ? The fact is, automation requires oversight. We all know customer requests aren't always perfect, which is exactly why humans still need to be in the loop. Maybe the customer asked for a product you literally discontinued last week, or their PDF had a typo and asked for 10,000 units instead of just 10. You simply can't blindly fire off automated quotes when revenue and commercial relationships are on the line. This is a dedicated review stage in Quote Manager CPQ, where users can validate and amend AI-generated quote lines before finalization. It perfectly combines the blazing speed of automation with the crucial accuracy of human oversight. The AI does about 95% of the tedious work, the data entry, the formatting, the pricing lookups, and then presents it to you. The sales rep just reviews the lines, makes any quick tweaks, and finalizes it. It's augmented intelligence, meaning you are still the pilot. Finally, let's look at Section 5, the CRM Dynamics Advantage. Because bringing all this theory into your daily operations requires some very specific expertise. As the source material notes, CRM Dynamics specializes in quote-to-cash solutions and can help organizations design, implement, and optimize AI-powered quote creation processes using the Microsoft technology stack. Having the right tools is really only half the battle, right? You need experts who know how to optimize them. You wouldn't build your own engine to buy a car. You go to the experts. These guys deeply understand the nuances of integrating Copilot, Azure AI, and Power Automate natively into your CRM. Their strategic value is massive. They help identify AI automation opportunities, design the quote automation strategy, configure Copilot and Power Automate, and deploy pre-built accelerators to seriously reduce implementation time and risk. They don't just hand you the software, they actually figure out where AI will help your specific business. For you, this means leveraging proven accelerators to get that fast time to value without the massive headaches usually associated with a digital transformation project. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a question. Whether you automate a handful of RFQs each week or thousands each month, how scalable is your current quoting process? Could it handle a sudden 500% spike in customer requests tomorrow without completely burning out your sales team? If not, you aren't just losing time, you're absolutely leaving revenue on the table. Are you ready to let AI do the heavy lifting? Thanks for joining me, and keep exploring how this tech can totally transform your daily work.